I'm Marcus Benjamin bringing you the Benjamin Report as Miami closes its season with a 45-20 victory over Boston College in Chestnut Hill. Miami started off a little shaky in this game. They got down 7-0 as the BC quarterback, Thomas Castellanos, was able to drive down the field and jump out to a big opening touchdown for the Eagles, but it was pretty much all Miami after that. Miami would go on to lead at halftime 28-7 and kind of cruise to a victory here. And you saw a game from Tyler Van Dyke once again that was efficient. He didn't turn the ball over. He rarely made any bad mistakes or bad throws. He actually made some really good throws in this one. He finished the game 23 of 36 for 290 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's a 64% completion percentage. Of course, Van Dyke was comfortable hitting his main man and roommate, Xavier Restrepo. Restrepo had a huge day today, and he continues to build on a stellar season. And he came up with some big catches and some big moments. He had a conversion on fourth down, 24 yards. It led to a touchdown. He also had another fourth down conversion in this game, which also led to a touchdown. Miami was actually efficient overall on third down today, going 50%, 6 of 12. Definitely a big improvement from the previous ACC game. So offensively, you definitely liked what you saw overall from this team. And like I said, Restrepo had a day for himself, getting 6 catches for 117 yards, including a long of 28. Targeted 8 times, also had some yak of 18. But the yak of all trades today was definitely Jacoby George. He had 59 yards in yards after the catch. And overall, he actually out targeted Xavier Restrepo, had 9 targets on the day. He was able to haul in 6 catches for 89 yards. Those were your top two receivers of the day for the Miami Hurricanes. Oddly enough, this season, for the first time this season, rather, I should say, that Miami targeted the tight end. You had 3 different tight ends catch the ball in this game, which was a little different from what we've seen all season. You had players like Elijah Arroyo, Riley Williams, and Cam McCormick getting catches in this game. I mean, they went just 5 catches for 34 yards, but it was just refreshing to just see the involvement of the tight ends in this game. And it just seems like it's a bit of a shame to kind of see it at the end of the season. But they were targeted 8 times in this game. And it was just nice to see Riley Williams got the most targets and catches, and he got 3 in this one. I'm sorry, he got two catches, but he did have 4 targets actually. So definitely an improvement just overall, just to see involvement from this tight end room. But overall, it was the running game that kind of ran the Eagles out of the stadium today. They had 40 carries for 242 yards, and 4 running backs touched the football in this one, with 3 of them hitting pay dirt. Henry Parrish was your lead back with 11 yards for 111 with 11 carries rather for 111 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a long of 38. It was really nice to see Parrish kind of get going in this one. He'd been out for a few games. Hurricanes coaching staff was kind of limiting him because of an injury that he suffered mid-season. But 11 for 111, that's a 10.1 per carry average. He looked fresh. He was actually hurt in this game, went into the medical tent, but came back and then ripped off another, big run of 28 yards. So really nice to see Parrish get involved after Fletcher kind of took over the backfield for these past couple of games. Parrish seems like he's fully healthy. Also, AJ Allen looks like he is back and fully healthy as well. He had 9 carries for 68 yards, including a touchdown run of 30 yards to close the game out. He averaged 7.6, sorry, per carry. Mark Fletcher had a nice day as well, 12 carries for 44 yards and a touchdown. So, liked what I saw from the running backs, but also liked what I saw from Tyler Van Dyke as well as far as running the football. He officially registered for 4 carries for 9 yards, but there were some times where he kind of rumbled out of the pocket and got you some yards, got you some positive yardage instead of taking a sack or an incompletion. He seems to have grown in these last couple of games. Seems a little bit too late, I guess, at this point, because if you got that type of quarterback play from Tyler Van Dyke, I mean, who knows how this season would have gone. I think Miami, of course, wins the game against Georgia Tech. They would have won the game if Miami just takes a knee, or if the referee actually calls the play correctly with Chaney's elbow down. And I think Miami also beats an NC State, and I think they beat Louisville as well. If Tyler Van Dyke, played a little bit better in those games. Now he did have a solid game in Louisville, but he wasn't able to kind of close the deal at the end. I mean, those are 3 games on the season that I think Miami wish they had back, and this team can easily, imagine they would be a 10-win team at this point if they were able to get those 3 victories: NC State, Louisville, and Georgia Tech. So overall, I thought the offense played great, and they kept Tyler Van Dyke pretty clean on the day as far as sacks are concerned. Boston College did not register a sack on the day. He was hurried a few times. 3 hurries officially registered on the stats sheet, but he was relatively comfortable all day. The only down part, I guess you could say, of this team from this game is the fact that they could not contain this quarterback, Castellanos. He was able to kind of get big chunk yards at times, and they just didn't have an answer for him. And albeit the kid is definitely quick, the sophomore from UCF, really showed what he can do. He's originally from Miami, so perhaps he had a little bit more juice in this game to kind of show what he can do. But 130 yards from a quarterback on the ground is a bit alarming. Now, although Miami, clearly outgained Boston College by a lot here, Miami had 532 yards total compared to Boston College's 294 yards. But just the amount of yards that the Hurricanes gave up to the quarterback, and it's not like they didn't know. They knew going into the game that that was one of the key factors to beating Boston College was to contain Castellanos on the ground, and they were unable to do that. So that's a little bit disappointing. The QB run continues to hurt Miami. It hurt Miami in this game, but overall, pretty solid performance from this Miami defense, holding this team to under 300 total yards. Now, Boston College was decimated by injuries in this one, and not much motivation for Boston College. Aside from ending their 2-game losing streak, And of course, it being senior day as well. But Miami was clearly more motivated in this game. And you can tell that the culture for me has kind of shifted in this one because I think after three straight losses in previous seasons, Miami would have probably laid down in this game and just, kind of punted until their bowl game. But this was a game that Miami clearly wanted, clearly, prepared for, especially offensively. I think they knew exactly what they wanted to do offensively, and they were able to do that. They were able to control the line of scrimmage. Tyler Van Dyke took what the defense gave him in this game. He took a couple of shots to his trusty roommate Xavier Restrepo, which ended up paying off for big gains, big conversions, like I mentioned. Overall, probably one of the more efficient games offensively that you've seen from the Miami Hurricanes this season. So now they have some momentum going into their bowl game. We won't know what bowl game that Miami is going to until after next weekend. So we'll find out, of course, not this Sunday, but the following Sunday after Championship Saturday. Miami is projected to go to a few different bowl games. The Sun Bowl is one of those. Could be the Military Bowl, Fenway Bowl could be a possibility, as well as the Pinstripe Bowl in those baseball stadiums. So all those are pretty high possibilities at this point for the Miami Hurricanes. But you like to see the Hurricanes end on a winning note here going into the bowl game. Of course, you want to get that one too, but this one was key. This was a mismatch as far as talent is concerned. And there's been times where Miami has come out on the field and they are a mismatch on the field talent wise, but they're unable to get a victory. And on this day, they took care of business on this business trip to Boston and can return home with their heads held high after a dominant win over the Boston College Eagles. That's going to wrap it up for the Benjamin Report. Once again, Miami closes the season out 45-20, onward to bowl season. Until the next episode, until the next Benjamin Report.